Welcome to Tuesday the 7th of April 2020. With pretty well all the world now in lockdown, I shall continue to work on my 1964 Renault caravelle. Today I'm going to be grinding out the metal here using a grinder fitted with an Abrax grinding brush. Very effective, leaves a nice finish on the metal. If you're not careful, it can leave you looking like a hedgehog. So wear protection, eye protection, absolutely essential. And to that end, I'll make it easier to film. I've brought along a very cheap and nasty tripod, which I got off eBay. Wouldn't recommend it at all, it's horrid. But there you are, it's what it is. There we go. And we're now in place. I'm going to do some grinding, because grinding with the brass brushes gives a very nice finish to the metal and a surface that's almost ready for painting. So here we are. Brush is made in the grinder. I use these Abrax. I find they're very good, very long lasting. Totally recommend them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to clean out this area here where the hood would normally sit. That's the soft top if you're watching this in America. So what we'll do first of all is going to clean up under here, which ideally would mean I get in the car, but we'll see what you can do from this angle. Makes a nice job of removing the rust. That would be suitable for painting with something like a Bonder primer, for example, or an etch primer of some kind, particularly if you're in a damp garage or a damp workshop where it could start rusting again immediately. And I should continue that all under here, under this ledge, and then bring it down into the tub of the car. Now, I've seen a lot of videos on YouTube lately regarding rust removal and rust finishing. So before we get back to the grinding, I just want to point out a few things on this caravelle with regard to deep pitting. There's deep pitting here, minor pitting here. All places where the soft top has sat or the hard top has sat for a period of time. Let's remove this camera from this tripod. It's not a tripod review, this video, but if it was, I would certainly say to you, don't bother with this thing. Cheap and nasty. Might be useful for something one day, but certainly not for this sort of application. So back to the rust. Got some pitting here. As you can see, it's everywhere where the hard top and the soft top have sat over the years, causing intense pitting. Now, one of the things you'll find that the grinder with the wheel attachment will do is clean that pitting out, leaving it clean enough for you to put an etch primer into the pitting, because there'll be no rust in the pitting at all. So we can see that pitting in there. And what I do is I simply just There is no rust at all now in there, it's all bright and shiny. Now, while some of you might go with the vinegar and water method, and I've seen this used on some of the YouTube videos, never having tried it myself, I'm a bit more of a traditional man when it comes to primers. And one thing I learned from my dad was using a product like this, which is Bonder primer. Again, like the Abrax brushes, I'm not being sponsored to recommend them. It's simply what I've found particularly good and useful over the last 30 odd years. The back bit of this caravelle, for example, was painted probably 10, no, not even 10 years, 8 years ago with Bonder primer, just to protect the sanded surface. And it's very nice. It's protected really well, even though the caravelle was outside for quite a while. So my intention is, and please feel free to comment on this if you wish, is to finish stripping this back, exposing and cleaning out all the pot marks and the pits in the steel. Then I shall wash it down with a degreaser, let it dry, and I shall give it a thick coat using a fine brush of the Bonder primer and allow that to settle in to the pits and level out. We then leave that harden for a couple of weeks, and then it can be wet sanded and then top coated. Okay, back to the grinding. I've ordered the steel today to replace this rear valance and make up the sections in the engine bay, the motor bay as it will become. Just want to show you that I move right down through, right down to the rear floor pans, actually the front floor pans. This is technically a two-person car. Back seat area is clean, just needs the wire brush put over it, and that's what I should do. And hopefully in the next video you will see it's all been painted in Bonder primer, and hopefully some of the repairs started. That's all I have to do for today, all I have to say to you today, apart from take care, stay safe, speak to you soon.